Get ready for a brand new type of phone calling to show up on your Echoes and Echo Shows. Within the Communicate tab inside of the Miss A application, you want to head into your contact list, which is up in the top right, and what you'll notice right away is that a number of your contacts will now have a little blue check mark next to their name. What this means is that they have Echo devices and you can make those calls directly to their Echoes or Echo Shows. But there's a new feature coming that you might have access to, not a lot of people have just yet. So let's find out together. Within our contacts list, you can head up to the three dots, and within here you're managing your contacts. But if you see a Miss A to phone option, what you're able to do is identify 10 people, and this is per profile. So this is each person that you've set up in the Miss A application and invited into your home. You're able to identify 10 people that you can call directly. So it's from one of these to one of these, and you only get 10, but you know, if you're like me, well, I have less than 10 friends. Hello automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Brian from Automate Your Life, and today I'm going to give you all the latest updates with your Echoes, your Echo Shows, and of course your Fire TV devices. Plus today I'll even talk about a Kindle product and how it works in with your whole ecosystem. Oh, and I suppose I shouldn't forget the Eero Routers. That's part of Amazon's lineup. And you know what? If you've been paying attention to the specifications on those, then you would have noticed at some point that there is a Thread border router available on those, but we haven't had access to really do anything with that, at least until recently. It's been confirmed directly by Amazon and Eero that these will be the first devices that will have both Thread and full Matter compatibility on board. So this is Amazon getting into the Matter standard, and it's pretty exciting news. Of course, that won't come until early 2022, which is the new date for the Matter standard to come and save all of our smart homes. But there are a couple of new features that you can use with your Echoes and Echo Shows that are pretty impressive. The first one is called adaptive listening, and what this means is while you are talking slowly, then it will continue to listen. And really what's happening is Amazon's trying to be more understanding of the fact that we can't always remember what it is we're trying to say to one of these devices. Now this works a little bit better on the newer Echo 4th generation Echo Dot, the newer Echo Shows, because of some of the changes in processors. But I had it working really well back there. You can see my Echo Studio. It worked really well. I could keep that microphone alive for about 30 seconds. What you also need to know about this is if you want adaptive listening here, but you don't want it on your Echo Studio, well, you have to turn this on per device in the device settings. So you will enable adaptive listening there. And if you're using the application on your smartphone, well, you can actually turn it on for that as well. This is the path you want to head to get to that setting. The other feature that's brand new is called adaptive volume, and yeah, it's just the flip side of adaptive listening. It's going to adjust if the noise in your room or in the space is getting higher and higher. It'll bring that volume up on content. So that's really great. It's not something you're going to really notice. They're not big changes, but it does help in a noisy environment. A lot of users are now reporting a new favorites section inside of the Amazon application. This is within your devices tab, and you can check it out to see if you have it already. My favorite update this month, though, isn't on an Echo or an Echo Show. It's actually on that Windows 10 PC that you've been using to work from home. And I know that many of you Americans have had this on your computer for a while, but the Amazon Miss A application is now available worldwide. The ability to call a PC when that application is open on it is a big win. You can do that from an Echo or an Echo Show, and it shows up in the Amazon application as a device that you can call, or you can manage settings on it. Plus, it includes things like timers and a show mode that turns your PC into an Echo Show when it's sitting idle if you'd like. And really, with features like adaptive listening, you can even turn those on in device settings that you'll find in the application. So this turns your PC into what is pretty close to a full functioning Echo or Echo Show. But the app actually contains a new auto mode that looks a lot like Google's driving mode. Now, what happens is when you enable this option inside of the Miss A application, you get this to pop up when you connect to your vehicle through Bluetooth. And this is an interface that gives you access to the voice assistant and a number of other features. So it tends to be very useful, but it does require that you keep the Amazon application open in the background on your phone. The brand new Echo Show 8 and its slightly older brother here, the Echo Show 10, both of them could use their larger megapixel cameras to detect when people were entering into the space or leaving the space. It used to be when you go into routines and you create a new routine and then you're choosing the Echo Show 8 or 10 as the trigger for that routine, well, you used to get both that detected option and the people are not detected option. But we used to come up with that people are not detected option was a time frame that you could set, and now you can't set that. So this is a bit of a strange removal, but there's actually an improvement that comes along with this, and that is to the Echo Show 5 second generation. So this is the brand new one where you can get that nice blue color that I have here, and honestly, that new feature being added to there was a bit of a surprise because that's a 2 megapixel camera on the Echo Show 5. Of course, it still has to be really light in your space because of the kinds of sensors that Amazon has used on these devices. It's got to be light, so you can't necessarily detect people coming into the space when it's really dark in a room. This is across all three. Speaking of those Echo Shows, I know a lot of you are waiting on the Echo Show 15, and Amazon's been really tight-lipped about when this will launch. So I think, guys, that we're going to end up waiting till very close to Black Friday, and that Amazon will really use that product to bring a lot of people into the site around that time. Honestly, we probably don't have a lot of inventory on something like the Echo Show 15, and so they're going to use that inventory, I think, the best that they can, and there's a lot of buzz on that product, a lot of people waiting for it. So we'll have to wait together. I'm launching this video on Halloween, and there's a pretty good reason for that I'll explain a little later in the video. But you know what Amazon does every holiday season is they kind of prep some specialized features that help us through those times. One of the first ones is you can ask for Halloween essentials, which will help you to get some ideas for decorations and other things, and you can actually even ask for some pumpkin patch locations nearby. But most importantly, there's a Halloween routine that you can request to enable at any time that includes a number of spooky sounds and lighting effects and even a game of trick or treat within it. So this is a fun one to do, especially on a day like today.
Make a batch of mashed potatoes and mix in some black beans. Spoon the mixture onto a cookie sheet and bake for 15 minutes. You'll find they look surprisingly similar to chocolate chip cookies, with an emphasis on surprise.
But for me, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And I don't mean that it's Halloween, and I definitely don't mean that we're coming into the Christmas season. No, it's the start of the NHL season. And Amazon has brought us some new NHL highlights options, so you can actually ask to watch those highlights. Ask for your sports update, of course, you can get for your favorite teams in the NHL, and you can actually ask for the schedule for those teams as well. They've also set up an NHL standings feature, which is great, but to be honest, all of these features are available for those other leagues. So if you're interested in the MLB playoffs, well, go ahead. And of course, I've shown the NBA highlights on here as well. So lots of these features are available for these pro teams, no matter what sport you're watching. I showed the Amazon Fire TV 4K Max stick. This is the brand new one. I put it in a fun little unboxing video. This was meant to be fun, but a lot of people didn't enjoy that one. And I got some comments that people wanted a full review of this. Now, I find the Fire TV sticks pretty much the same with some minor differences. So I thought it made more sense to make a comparison review between all of the different Fire TV products to help with a buying guide sort of thing. But I'd love to hear from you guys who watch these videos regularly what you're looking for. You want a full review on the 4K Max, or would you rather have that comparison guide? But speaking of those Fire TVs, well, you guys in the US, you got some new states and cities available in the Fire TV News app. And it actually includes my favorite state, which is Hawaii, for very obvious reasons around beaches. And I promised I would talk about a Kindle product today, and that's because I got my hands on the new Kindle Paperwhite. And I've had a lot of e-readers in my hands, in my home before, but this one's a bit different. The first thing is the browser, which there's been a browser on a few e-readers before, but this one actually works really well. It's slow to react because of the type of screen, but it's nice to have that there if you ever need to reference something. The other thing that I really loved about this was actually an accessibility feature, and there's a voice reader feature that if you connect to any of your Echoes in your home and you do that by Bluetooth, well, then it will actually read whatever's on the screen through that speaker. So it would turn the page as well, which I really loved. And this meant that I could actually hand it to my kid and he could read a book or have that book read to him, and he would learn to read a little bit. Now, the really, really nice thing about that is they've also included kids' profiles that you have in your Amazon account already on that device as well. So to say I've been really impressed with this new Kindle Paperwhite is kind of an understatement. There's actually a lot of rumors circling around Amazon and their smart products right now. And if you remember from our last video, our last updates or news video, Amazon went and put their voice assistant on Samsung's Family Hub fridge. And this is a really important thing because Bixby isn't the best voice assistant on the planet. But what has been rumored is that Amazon is now creating their own fridge, and this is kind of what they do as a company. This might give us more reason to go out and get an Echo Auto, as that device has kind of been pushed to the side more and more by other offerings, including that new auto mode in the application. But something that Amazon is planning for next year looks like it might provide reason. Now, that is the ability to actually turn on the guard service in your vehicle. So this would be a major benefit to knowing if someone's trying to break in. And I even saw the idea that Amazon is producing a Luna tablet. Now, this would be something that would try to go up against the Chromebooks, and it brings ever closer that idea that Amazon's going to come back into the smartphone game, which is actually a prediction I made earlier this year. I said I would tell you why I'm releasing this video on Halloween, and that's actually because I produced a video that released on Friday. And at the forefront of that is Mr. Beast and Mark Rober, as they bring together a brand new initiative for something called Team Seas. Now, this is a massive effort, and they did great with Team Trees a few years ago as they launched that, but now we're working on cleaning up the oceans, getting the plastic and garbage out of those spaces. So go check out that video. It's up on screen right now, and I can tell you that next week we're going to have a hidden tips and tricks on your Echo shows. So if you've got one of these, that video will show up there next week. Otherwise, thanks for watching today, and of course, don't hate, automate.